and just slide it off to the side. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing another DIY video. Today is March 15th, 2020, and today I'm going to show you guys how to put quick struts on your Volkswagen TDI Jetta. This particular one I have is a 2010 model. On this particular model, we're going to run quick struts. They're made by Monroe. They have everything that you need to just replace this entire unit. This particular car broke the driver's side coil. I don't know if that's a common issue or not, but it did happen on this one. We're going to just get right into this and get this done. So we're gonna make this quick, fast, and dirty. Overall though, this job shouldn't take you more than an hour aside, as long as you have all the tools and you've done a little preparation, i.e. PB blaster, having heat, having all the right tools on hand. For me, the other side took about 3.5 hours because I had to keep running back out to my farm to get oddball tools. So guys, we don't gotta deal with it this time, so let's go right now. Before you get too deep into this and start hammering at things, I'm going to definitely recommend taking a little PB blaster and spraying the bolts down that we're going to be addressing here. Also, a few of the special tools that you're going to need for this, are I just forgot what this thing's called. The other one you're going to need is a 5mm Allen. You're going to need this for the center of the sway bar end link right there. You're going to need a 15/16, or I believe that's a 24mm 12 point for the axle bolt. You're gonna need a 10mm there as well, and that should be it. Oh, you're also gonna need a couple hammers. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of boom, boom, boom to slide this pecker out of there. So guys, I'm gonna put this on a quick lapse here and we're gonna get started. Now we have to deal with this. Guys, I understand, and all right, typically I would say here, never hit a bolt, and I'm gonna keep to that. Even though this has like a bit of a shank on there, whatever they want to call this, I don't know, I don't understand how bolts are made. Just put your nut back on there, thread it down just a little bit so it's close to as even as you can, and just give this a good one of those. Give it another one of those, and look, your bolt still comes off just fine. And you didn't ruin it. You don't have to go to the store. Oh, the sun came out. Yes. All right, so with that said, that's how you get that out nice and easy. Get this bolt out, and then I'm gonna move on to the tire. All right, at this point, you need to start taking these bolts out down here. So you can just use a 13mm ratchet. I got a little 1/4 inch one here. I've already broke them loose, and we're just gonna keep going at it. All right, gentlemen, ladies, whomever is watching this, viewers. All right, so here's the deal. After doing the other side already and going through this, I kind of evolved in my technique a little bit here. I'm gonna recommend going ahead and taking the caliper off. As you do more and more jobs, you learn to slowly, oh, well, if I do this and this and take this extra 10 minutes, it's just gonna make my life a lot easier. So instead of trying to, you know, tap, 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 and walk the shock down, I'm just gonna unbolt the ball joint ends here, take tie rod end off, caliper's already off, and I can just take this entire thing out, set it on the ground, knock that loose, and all is well, it's in well. All right, guys, let's do it. Forgot about this in the beginning. You wanna take your brake caliper off, set it off to the side. This, normally, I would say, oh, hey, you need to tie this up someplace. But luckily for me, I kind of got lucky here, and it's long enough to reach the ground. Second, after you get that done, then you want to come over here to your tie rod end. It should be, yeah, I already buzzed this loose here. Oh, boogers. Hold on, it's making a liar out of me. And if you look at mine, yeah, it's not completely loose, sort of. If you take a hammer here and you want to hit here, keep that on hand tight. You want to hit here, not here. And as soon as you see it jump, there you go. And your tie rod's still good. Look at that. You didn't ruin it. And that's just one way of getting them off, but that works really well most of the time. So now that we got all that off, axle bolts out, now we got to take these 3 bolts out right here that the lower ball joint bolts onto. You will need to get a 16mm socket. All right, as you can see, the ball joint's all loose. It was very easy, just pick it up and out of there. Boom. All right, set that. Now that it's completely loose, we just got to go up there and take those 2 bolts loose. I'm gonna have to set the camera down for this one, guys, but you can watch it as it happens. Wow, that was a lot heavier than I thought it was. All right, so we got it all out. All right, guys, you do want to be somewhat careful with this setup. That's because this is your ABS sensor or your wheel speed sensor, and you don't want to break it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna aim right there. Get a torch, we're gonna heat this metal up really, really well. Try to get that rust to break free as best we can. It might already be. Let's just give it a couple pounds. Let's just pull a Jeremy Clarkson and bang on it a little bit and see what happens. So guys, I'm gonna recommend you go clean up your bolts right now before we go any farther. So take a 5-minute break, clean your bolts, and I'll see you in a few. All right, well, being as it's a whopping like 38 degrees, I've decided to come in the garage for a little bit here. Let me shut this heater off. What I have here is a little Harbor Freight. It's not really, it's a Harbor Freight brush. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not super abrasive, and I couldn't find any paper handy. So just gonna go in here like this and shouldn't mar up the surfaces. And there we go. We got a nice clean surface. That's clean. But we got the bolts now. And there's a couple options I found. This right here. It kind of works. You can, it's a battery terminal cleaner. You know? I'm going straight for the power tools, guys. This is a wire wheel I've got. I love using this thing. It cleans up everything. Unfortunately, I don't got one on my grinder, so this is the next best thing. All right, first things first, we need to take some anti-seize. Take some anti-seize, put it on the inside of here. Not only is this gonna help slide together, it's gonna prevent this from ever being a problem coming out next time. All right, and just slide it down in there. It's gonna be a little tight, don't worry. This method works really well for me. What I like to do is I just tap it, get it rough it, you know, kind of snugged in there a little bit, and then take a piece of wood, set the rotor on the wood, and actually tap from the bottom of the spindle right here where the, walk it down in there. All right, well, there we go. Nothing damaged, easy peasy. And there's a ledge right here, so you can't go too far with it. So before we put it back in the car, we're gonna go ahead and put this bolt in. That way we don't gotta worry about it later. And we already got those bolts cleaned up, but before we put them in, we're gonna make sure to put a little anti-seize on them. Doot, doot, just like that, right on the end there. That one goes right there. And put your bolt on. That 12-point M14 that I was talking about earlier. So do this with hand tools to start with, and then once you get to the end, then you can blast it with an impact gun. And there you go, we're good. Now we can take this entire assembly and stick it back in the car, and we're done. This hose is ridiculous. All right, now we can put it back in the car. You might need 2 people for this if you just aren't feeling up for it, but for the most part, you should be able to get this in there. You should be able to slide it up into the top, slide the axle in, and then balance it on these 3 bolts right here. So let's get in. So let's see if I can do it by myself, and if need be, we'll go grab my best helper. All right, that was not near as bad as what I thought. So if you guys didn't see that, all I did was held it up with one hand and screwed it in, one bolt in with another. All right, now that we got all 3 bolts in, we can come back down here without worrying about this thing falling on us. First thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get the axle back in the hole, but this is gonna be a juggling match, because once you get the axle in the hole, then you're gonna wanna pull this down to line those 3 bolts back up. So I cannot hold the camera and do this, so you guys are gonna just have to watch it without any commentary. All right, so we got that in pretty easy. It wasn't that bad. Put the bolts on down here like you've seen, and we went ahead and put this bolt in, the sway bar end link also in as well. Just need to start tightening all these down here. These ones, start with these, work up to your axle bolt. Make sure to tighten that up. Don't forget that you do need to use a 12 point on this side of the car. I'm assuming that's an OEM thing because the other side of the car had a 5-point Allen in it. So I'm pretty sure somebody at some point in time went in this and changed out a sway bar end link on that side of the car. I don't know that, but based on the fact that there's two different styles of parts, I'm gonna take a gander that's what happened. So just something to pay attention for. Not all parts are made the exact same. So I'm gonna get this stuff all tightened up real quick and I will check back in with you soon. Don't forget your ratchet works in reverse. So when you're tightening up your sway bar, you need to turn it to the off position in order to actually tighten up the end link. So, quick tip. Guys, on a side note here, once you get this bolt snug, I guess the stud technically snug, you just want to take your wrench and that's what you get all your torque out on it. That's how you finish tightening it up. Don't use the All right, for every one of you who are watching this, I applaud you for trying to learn something new. And that's what this video is all about. I do a lot of these videos trying to simplify the process and trying to give you as a viewer and as a DIYer the best advantage I possibly can so that you can get that job done. I hope this video allowed you to get your quick struts or at least change your struts on your Volkswagen TDI. And if it did, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Until the next one, peace. Hey, when you get a second, don't forget, check out some of these other videos I have out. You might like them.